the lapel, grab the mic, anything I need to do just to make sure that you can hear me all right. Thank you, Dr. Cochran, for that introduction. And I want to thank you for allowing me to come here this evening and share with you some of my personal experiences as it relates to the world of business and the world of leadership. And I also want you to know that I honor your time and your commitment to be here this evening. Even though it's mandatory for many of you to be here, I do honor the fact that you're here. And I want you to know that I have spent a lot of time in preparation for this evening, in prayer and preparation, in hopes that whatever I'm going to share with you this evening is going to be something meaningful. You are going to take away some practical application from it. And whatever it is you're learning in your classroom right now, I will either say, yes, it's going to apply, or it may be something, just get ready for what's out there, because it may look a little bit different when you get out into that real world of business and leadership. Now, I hope you all brought with you some paper and a couple of pens, because I have prepared for you this evening 45 minutes worth of lecture on excruciating details as it applies to business and business principles, not only globally, but as it affects the Pensacola area. So I'll give you a few seconds to take out some paper and a pen. And now I'm just going to say stop, because that was just too much fun for me to do. And if you could see your faces right up here, I saw some people like, oh my, 45 minutes of lecture on leadership economics and stats of development. I think I saw blank stares going, that's not what I thought she was going to talk about. And that is not necessarily what I'm going to talk about. I just wanted to get your attention and see if you were listening to what it was I was saying. And I would say, yes, you were listening, because that reaction was perfect. That's what I was hoping would happen at 7 o'clock on a Monday evening. Actually, what we're going to do here this evening is we're just going to have a conversation. I just happen to be the one up here speaking in front of you. But I am going to ask for a lot of dialogue back and forth. This is an engaging time right now. So conversation is a two-way communication system. I might do most of the talking at some parts, but I will ask you to participate with me. Is that all right with you? Is that all right with you? All right. Look to the person to the right and to your left and say, you are going to learn something tonight. All right. Great. And it is my desire that you learn something tonight. And what I really hope you learn tonight are ways that you can connect, develop, and grow into the unique leader that you are designed to be. There are not any of us in this room that are, I would say, that is not a unique individual. If you think you're unique, will you raise your hand? All right, I'm saying, okay, now I've got to back up 1 second, because when I say raise your hand and I see this, I'm just not quite sure if you're like doing this. Not you men, you ladies, might be doing that. Or if you like need to be doing this. So if I ask you to raise your hand, if we'll do a practice, real quick, practice. If you'd raise your hand like this for me, raise your hand. All right, great. I hope that's on camera. I bet that looked really cool. Like I was, everybody knew the answer to what I want to do before we get to that paper, and I love it because I can see all of you up front. This is why I love everybody sitting up front. At first I thought it was because, y'all want to be close to the speaker. And then I asked this group over here, and they said, no, it's because the ushers made us come over here first. And then I learned the later you wait out in the hallway, you get to sit in the back. I learned that too. But I can still see all of you in the back. And because this is engaging, you in the back are probably safer than you in the front, because I might be calling on you in the front. This is what, if you've ever been to SeaWorld, any of you ever been to SeaWorld and seen the Shamu exhibit? Yeah. And there's like the splash zone. You sit there if you really want to get wet and participate. That's where all of you are right here in the front, just so you know. But going back to being unique, I want to talk about that for a moment. I know that there are different majors in this room tonight. They're all business majors, but they're specific niches of majors. So I'm going to call out a few that I have, and if you are this particular major, if you're majoring in this field, if you would raise your hand for me, and if you would, I would hope loud or soft, but maybe louder's better, just say, I'm here, when I call your major. Raise your hand and say, I'm here. All right? The first one I have is accounting. Who's in accounting? Wow. We're going to go over. We're going to try that one more time. All right, we're just going to kind of like, I'm going to do one of these, like, all right, now I'm going to start with my first one. And my first group is accounting. A little better. All right, the next group I have is advertising, public relations. I'm glad he's here. All right, I know this is a big one. Computer science. Woo! All right. All right, big one. This is one of the ka-ching groups, finance. All right. Management. I'm here. Yes, all right. Sports management. I'm here. Excellent. Legal administration. I'm going to try that one again. Hold on, I'm going to do one of those one more time. Legal administration. Oh, that was better. All right. Medical administration. Great, right there. Y'all are like all over here. Okay. Office administration. Kind of spread everywhere. Is there any area that I missed? Marketing. Ooh, well, that's a big one. Marketing. Any other one? Office systems. All right, who's with office systems? Who's here? Who is it? I see 2 or 3. All right, you're here. All right. And I am very, very glad that all of you are here this evening. And I do want to start because you can see this is a pretty broad spectrum of people in here. A lot of different majors represented in the field of business. And each one of you, as you leave where you're at today, going out into the workforce, you're going to encounter very unique situations. One more time by a show of hands and with hopefully a loud response. Who are the seniors in the group? Who's here? Who are the seniors in the group? I'm here. Great. There's a lot of you here. How about juniors? I'm here. Man, I don't know who won the juniors or the seniors, but if I were a senior, I think I'd be louder than the juniors. I'm just thinking out loud on that one. I'd be saying, I'm here and it's my last time. I mean, I'm here. But you're about to go out and experience so many different things, and they will be unique. And so now I want to readdress you again back to this sheet of paper. Because part of being a leader is really understanding how unique you are. And when you go into business, understanding how unique you are as a leader, to me is one of the foundational places you need to start, whether you are finishing up your senior year, you're a junior, or you're a sophomore hanging out in here just because it's a fun place to be. I'm pointing to you up here. You're in the front. I met you. But it's important to know how unique you really are as you enter out into the workforce. So take just a couple of minutes. I'm just maybe 2, 3 max. And on this side of your handout, you're going to see where I would like for you to select just 4 words that you feel. No looking on your, I see some people looking at their neighbor's papers. This is all about you. Okay, I see some right over here in this middle row halfway back, right there. I see you. You're looking at papers. No looking. I can see everybody because I'm up top. I'm up here. It's one of the benefits, one of the perks. But just take a few minutes and circle 4 words that describe you. I need a volunteer. Oh, come on up. I didn't have to ask twice. If you could just come right over here to the mic, please.
All right.
All right. And what is your name again?
Nathaniel Whitcomb.
Does everybody know Nathaniel? All together. Hey, Nathaniel. Oh, great. Thank you. A nice welcome for Nathaniel. Nathaniel, if you could, for me, tell me your first word that you circled, or one of your words.
Courteous.
Is there anybody else here who is courteous and you have that word circled? If there is, please stand up. Wow. All right, Nathaniel, your second word.
Loyal.
Loyal. Anybody with loyal, stand up. And your third word?
Humorous.
If you have humor, stand up. All right. And your fourth word?
Polite.
Polite. 1, 2. All right. Is there anybody that had all 4 words? I didn't see anybody that had all 4. Thank you, Nathaniel. You are unique. Woo. Thank you. I love this exercise, and I'll tell you, the list I normally have is about 2 pages long. And I use this really to start as an example of how unique we really are. And I'm not sure how many students are in the room, but out of this many students, there was not one that had all 4 characteristics that were the same as Nathaniel. He's the only one that fits that. You share characteristics, but there was not one that had all 4 same characteristics. And I could probably, now statistically speaking, even though I will throw out a few statistics, not many, but statistically speaking, I could probably pick anybody in this room and have them come up and do the same thing, and the same thing would happen. You might have 1 or 2 characteristics the same, but to have all 4 usually doesn't happen. And again, that's a very shortened version of the word list that I usually use. So think about that as we talk about how you are uniquely created to go into the business world and into leadership. That while there will be people who have similar experiences, and Nathaniel, you're in computer information systems? Got it. There are going to be people who are in the same field you're in this room, yet there is none like you. And that is the same for any major that I just ran off the list of. There is not one just like you here, and I will guarantee you there is not one just like you wherever it is you're about to go. So wherever you end up at any particular time in your career, you are the only one uniquely qualified to lead in that particular spot, in that particular time. That is how unique you all are. Which brings me around a little bit now. Now I know a lot about Nathaniel especially, but I know quite a bit about you. And I want to bring it around, and I want to share a little bit about myself and what makes me uniquely qualified to stand up here in front of you and share what I know about business and leadership. And Dr. Cochran, she did a lovely announcement, and I have a degree in speech and hearing sciences. I've been a speech-language pathologist for over 23 years, and I specialize in the area of voice. Well, that's great, Mary, but what does that have to do with business? And what does that have to do with leadership in business? You know, I'm a business major. What does that have to do with speech and hearing sciences over here? Actually, it has everything to do with it. Because what I have found out through my career is that no matter what you do in your career, you are in the business of doing business, no matter where you are. And going back several years, I'm going to go back 10 years. I'm not going to stay there long, don't worry. But 10 years ago, my husband and I, his name is Michael. He was an ENT in the area, ear, nose, and throat physician. And 10 years ago, from October 15th, actually, we opened the doors to his private practice. He was with a group practice. I was working at a hospital. Neither one of us had business training. Neither one of us had that title, those letters that go after the word. But because of circumstances, he had to leave the business he was at, and he had to open his own practice. In 30 days, we had 30 days to do this, with no experience in this behind us. In 30 days, we found an office location, we hired staff, and we opened the doors for business in 30 days. A lot of on-the-job training had to occur in order for that to happen. In the 30 days, when I was thinking about coming here, I thought, okay, these are college students. Anybody live in a college dorm still here? Raise your hand. Well, not me. I don't live there yet, but I used to. But our first office actually reminded me of a college dorm. Because when we opened the doors for our first day, we were so excited. We had worked so hard in this 30 days. And we opened the doors and we had fold-out chairs, little fold-out chairs. We had card tables. We had borrowed furniture in the exam rooms. We even had one of those small college-sized refrigerators. That's what we had at the beginning of our business adventure. I thought, I bet some of your dorm rooms probably look better than our first office ever did because of where we started from. And that was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, without any true business experience, I was all of a sudden put into the job of office administrator, office management. There I was. And I'm thinking, I'm a speech pathologist from the hospital. What do I know about business? I did a lot of reading in those first few weeks, a lot. I was online all the time. What do I need to know? How do I hire somebody? How do I do payroll? How do I know how to set a salary? How do I know how to write a policy and procedure for something that I don't even know what it is yet? All of those things I had to wrap my head around. And also in that time, I realized the challenges that come along with doing that. I learned very, very quick to outsource the things that I don't know. I don't know accounting and bookkeeping. I know QuickBooks, but I can't tell you I'm a genius at it. I can reconcile my accounts on there, but don't let me do your business. I will tell you that right now. I can do it, but I outsource the things that I don't know. Also because I didn't want to be stuck with the IRS come knocking at my door one day going, ma'am, did you pay your quarterly taxes here? Your husband didn't pay his quarterly taxes. I didn't want that happening. So I hired out in accounting. All you accountants, love you because you're so important to the changes that are going to go on in our country the next several years. I mean, in some ways I feel kind of sorry for you because it's going to be a lot of work. In the same way, I'm so glad you're there because then I don't have to know it myself. I can just go to you and you can teach it to me. But I learned really quick that medicine came very easy for us. Medicine we could handle. It was the business of doing medicine that was so difficult. And it was the business of being in business that, to me, at that particular point in my life, was excruciatingly painful. It was painful for me because it was so far out of my box. Has anybody ever had a cavity? Raise your hand if you've ever had a cavity. Have you ever had a filling? Have you ever had Novocaine in your mouth where they would kind of like numb it up? Have you ever had Novocaine in your mouth and then they went to go do a little bit of drilling in the area where the Novocaine was and it didn't quite take? And you jumped out through the seat because, oh, the pain just shot through your toes? Anybody ever experienced that? That's the kind of pain I'm talking about for me when we're talking about business. I'm talking about pain because it was so far out of my box. I felt like Dorothy in the tornado in the Wizard of Oz, and things are spinning around, and she's in the cyclone, and the twister's coming, and there's Mom, Pa, and all the ranch hands, and everybody's spinning around, and she's just in her bed looking, because there I was standing in the middle of what I felt like was this tornado going around me, called business, and everything else I knew was just spinning around, lost in the clouds. All the familiarity I had with everything I had gone to college for, all my training, all my specialties I had, was like, and here I was. And business was the witch who was on the bicycle that turned into the broom, if you know the movie, going around going, ha ha, I'll get you, my pretty, and that's about what I felt like. She's coming after me. Business was painful. But a lot of studying, a lot of surrounding myself with great people who were in business helped us get through many years. The turning point for me came with a struggle. And the struggle came in the form of employees. We had an employee we had hired on right when we opened up the doors, and I was faced with terminating this employee. I had to fire her. It was a situation where it was not going to work for both of us to work together any longer. It was a situation where as much as I could do to try to help facilitate growth in this individual, it was just not going to happen. This is what was happening. I tell you, I prayed every night that I would be given some guidance on how I was supposed to handle this. Biblically, how was I supposed to handle terminating an employee? And on top of that, I knew that this person is a Christian employee on top of that. That was a struggle for me. That was a lot of inner struggle for me. How was I to do that? And I'll never forget one afternoon, I was picking up my two older children in the carpool line, sitting Mom in her minivan, waiting in the carpool line to get my two older children, who are now 19 and 17, by the way. And I was listening to a radio show. And on the show was a gentleman named Larry Burkett. Now, does anybody know Larry Burkett? Raise your hand if you're familiar with Larry Burkett. Yes. I listened to him for years. Larry Burkett, for those of you who don't know who he is, he was like the Dave Ramsey of the day back, 10, 15 years ago. He's since passed on. But he's what I would consider